Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. All of my stories with regards to psychic visions and things are true, as I've mentioned before. I want to bring you along with me into the story of Jean. I want to explain a little bit more about what happened the day that the guy went into the bathroom. I talked about this just a little bit in my last video, but I think it really kind of warrants its own explanation. So, come along with me and I will explain it to you. So, when, people get really rowdy in the house, Jean would start being more present, and she just really did not like that. And this friend of ours, let's call him Ivan, if you will, had come over and he proceeded to start drinking, the more drunk that he got, the more belligerent he got. He started like really teasing my kids and just being rude to them, and he was being mean and belittling to me, which was not cool at all. And this kind of went against everything that Jean, seemed to deal with. She did not like it when the men in the house would get drunk and rude and mean, basically. So anyway, Ivan went upstairs to go use the bathroom, and he was in there for a minute or two. And the way the bathroom was set up was that the toilet's here, the mirror's here, and the door's over here, right? And he was in there and he let out this holler, and the kind of holler you usually don't hear from a man, right? And he, like, the door flies open and he comes walking down the stairs super fast, and he was just like visibly shaking and shaken and just like really upset. And it's like, what's going on, Ivan? And he was like, oh my God. He's like, I was going pee, and there was a woman who came basically from the door, and he could see her in the mirror, and she came up behind him and went like she was going to attack him. It scared him so bad that he peed on the wall and peed on his shoe. Okay, that's how terrified he was. And he was like, just like really, really upset. And he was telling us this, and of course the men in the house, my ex-husband and his brother and his best friend, were just kind of like laughing it off, right? But for me, this was very validating, because this is the first time that somebody else in the house, had seen Jean other than me and my kids, and Ivan described her as, the woman in the brown bathrobe, which was amazing to me. Of course, the guys, just like I said, just kind of laughed it off, and called me crazy, called him crazy, and then accused me of telling him about Jean in the first place, which I had not. That's not something you go around telling the whole neighborhood, like, oh yeah, there's this woman in the house, that kind of thing, So, I mean, like, have you ever been in a situation like that where it's like you got something kind of going on, and, you don't necessarily just want to tell everybody, it's kind of a private matter, so, at this point, Ivan refused to go back into our bathroom for a good 9 months. He would rather go outside and pee on a tree than go upstairs into that bathroom. He was terrified. And I told him, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be so mean when you're here. She doesn't like that. Anyway, so all of this for me, like I said, was very validating, because, she actually showed herself to somebody other than me and my children, and she was very clearly, visibly upset by the way he was acting. She didn't like the fact that he was being mean to us, and, for me, it was, it was really amazing that she would stand up for us like that, so, if you've ever had a house like that, where you've had something, where you see something out of the corner of your eye, or, you have some doors open and close on their own, or whatever, that kind of thing. There's something to it, and you're feeling something that's actually happening, pay attention, because, maybe somebody in the house is trying to tell you something. You never know, like Jean was trying to tell us. She was very active when, people would get belligerent and mean. So anyway, I just wanted to expand on that story a little bit for you so you'd understand a little bit more. I felt like it was, kind of a standalone thing. It needed some attention. So please, leave me a comment. Let me know, if you've ever been in a house, where you had some activity going on that you couldn't quite explain, and how did other people in your life react to when you told them, it's like, hey, I've been seeing this thing, did they call you crazy too, or did they believe you? Did they see it too? You never know. I would love to hear your story, though. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back again soon by the Cat Counselor Treat if you feel like it. Have a good rest of your day, and I will be continuing on with more Jean stories here very soon. Bye.